Blutbad.
Hello and welcome to my first ever Photoshop tutorial video. Today I'm going to show you a basic technique for creating lightsaber glow. Before we get started, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any tutorials in the future. For this beginner's tutorial, we're going to use a bright, evenly lit image and the lightsaber is going to be held away from the figure. This way we can keep it simple and only worry about illuminating the lightsaber blade itself while ignoring the figure and its surroundings. So once we have our image open in Photoshop, the very first thing we want to do is create a new layer on top of this image. This can be done by clicking the Create a New Layer button at the bottom of the Layers tab, the one that looks like a plus sign in a box. All the work we will be doing will be on this new layer. We aren't going to touch the base image at all. Now we want to select the pen tool. You can find it over here on the tool panel, or simply press P on your keyboard. With the pen tool, we are going to create a selection around the lightsaber using a series of nodes and vectors. There are several ways to create a selection in Photoshop, but the pen tool produces the cleanest, most accurate results. It can be a little tricky to master, but luckily for us, the lightsaber blade is a very simple shape. We begin by placing a node at the hilt and then another at the far end of the blade, right before the tip. Next, we click and drag to create a rounded section. If you've done this accurately, you should just be able to click again to finish the curve. If you're a little bit off, like this, you can hold the Alt button and click and drag this handle to make adjustments. Using the same technique, we finish the outline of the blade. Now that the path is finished, we name it. Naming your path will prevent it from being overwritten if you use the pen tool again. You just double click here. I'll name mine Lightsaber Blade. Then we hold the Control key and click on our freshly named path, which turns it into a selection. You can tell it's a selection by this animated outline, which my old Photoshop teacher used to call the marching ants. With our selection outline active, we just want to double check that we're still on the topmost layer before selecting the brush tool. Again, you can find the brush tool here on the tool panel or simply press B on your keyboard. With the brush tool selected, we want to fill in the selection with white. You can check your swatch over here to make sure you have white selected. If you don't, just double click and drag it over to white. Once the blade is white, we can use the key combination Ctrl D to deselect this selection. Now the best part, adding the color. With the topmost layer still selected, we're going to press the Add a Layer Style button at the bottom of the layer panel. It looks like a little FX. From here we select Outer Glow. First we pick the color of the glow. I'll obviously be going with a light blue. Then we copy the hex code for that color so we can use it again on the inner glow. Hit OK. Now we want to play with the spread and size sliders. This part is up to personal preference, but I usually go with low spread and low to mid size. Once you're satisfied with the outer glow, click inner glow over here. Click the color swatch and paste the hex code that we copied earlier. Again, this part is up to personal preference, but I usually keep choke at 1 and play around with the size based on the size of the photo. And that's it! We now have a glowing lightsaber. As I mentioned, this is just a beginner tutorial. Keep an eye out for more tutorial videos in the future where I'll show you more advanced techniques like casting glow on the figure itself and even how to light multiple lightsabers at once. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing. Until next time!